Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 18 in the book of First Peter. This is the first podcast on chapter 3 of First Peter. I'm going to title today Behavior for Another's Benefit. So we're going to talk about what we do with the mindset of helping another, behavior for another's benefit. Listen with me. It's going to address wives and husbands in 7 verses. 3:1. Likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some of them do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives, when they see your respectful and pure conduct. Do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and the putting on of gold jewelry or the clothing that you wear, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit, which in God's sight is very precious. For this is how the holy women who hoped in God used to adorn themselves, by submitting to their own husbands, as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, and you are her children, if you do good and do not fear anything that is frightening. Likewise, husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you of the grace of life, so that your prayers may not be hindered. So the big topic today is behaviors for another benefit. Husbands are going to do it. Wives are going to do that. The topic on the table here is submission. And if you're not interested in submission, my recommendation to you is don't get married. I'm saying this both to men and to women. And if you're not interested in working for changing your behavior for the benefit of another, don't get married. Husbands, all kinds of tasks here, even this isn't the only place that talks about this. Husbands are not off the hook here at all. Love her as Christ loved the church. Do what's necessary to present her in splendor. That is behavior for another's benefit. That's talked about in Ephesians chapter 5. Husbands here, I would recommend that you would look for a wife who is good at this, who demonstrates good foundations of submission to her parents, of submission in church offices, in submission in employer, and submission in government. Similarly, wives look for a husband who can submit to their parents, to their other church members, to their employer, or to their government. Why? It's important for the functioning of your home if you're a woman, and if you're a man, it's critical in your functioning in society. So submission is behavior that's done for another's benefit under the eye of God. It's conduct in the home to win the soul of a spouse. I mean, listen to this, women. If this isn't, likewise, wives, be subject to your own husbands, so that even if some of them do not obey the word, they may be won without a word by the conduct of their wives. Wow. The conduct in your home can win the soul of your spouse. I would think that you would want to make that a priority. In other words, you can be a missionary in your home. Well, how is it done? It's not done by external adornment, but it's let your adornment be in the hidden, or in the, as it turns out to be, not so hidden, person of the heart. Starts with the heart, obviously, with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit. So hopefully a wife can be a person with a settled spirit over this issue. She can say to herself, I can adorn myself in the most beautiful of ways by my posture before the Lord. And my spirit can be a witness in the home. And God sees all of this. So this is not this is not that secret. It's not secret to God, and it's not secret to your spouse, and it's not secret to society for that matter. What I do can be precious. And I think this is where we get this wrong so many times, is we think that submission means less valuable. No, God says it's precious, the most valuable thing. And I could live so as to help the soul of my spouse. And if that's not valuable, I don't know what is. So, and the other thing is, I'm not the first to deal with this issue. It seems like every generation at least addresses this issue, maybe struggles with it, maybe wrestles, and hopefully not resists it. The ancient and modern women hoped in God. They left examples for us. So submission isn't a way to devalue. It's the way to make yourself the most valuable, precious in God's sight. That's what's more valuable than that. So let's be careful not to misvalue this. It's the role that we're talking about here. It's the job description, not the value of the job. So you can do this right if you do good and do not fear anything that's frightening. The marriage requirements, trust me, are terrifying in a perfect marriage. And the marriage requirements are even worse in an imperfect marriage. Go to 1 Corinthians chapter 7 or Ephesians chapter 5 if you want to be totally terrified. And likewise, this marriage thing is a wrestle for everybody. Everybody is doing a hard thing. So living with your wives, do you think that's tough? Apply understanding here. Husbands, live with your wives in an understanding way, showing honor to the woman as the weaker vessel, since they are heirs with you in the grace of life. So we're wrestling this with as a society now. So now we have gender dysphoric or so-called trans athletes competing across their gender. In other words, we have genetic males competing with genetic females. That is, every cell in their male body is competing with a person who has every cell in their body being a female body. And we're revealing what the Bible says is true. That is, men and women are different, and men and women are different in strength. And guess what? It's not understanding, and it's not honoring for these genetic males to be trouncing genetic females on athletic fields. So we're just proving the Bible. So let's value both men and women. They're both heirs. Everybody's heading in the same direction towards the Lord, hopefully. And let's let husbandly behavior reflect their value. Guess what, everybody? We can be precious in God's sight, but by what we do in our hearts to start, and then what we do with our behavior to others. That is, we can do behavior for another's benefit. Thanks for listening.